We're back under the lights with the Ventura County High School Football Game of the Week on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network. Once again, here's the Hawk.
By the Moorpark High School marching band here at the half as the Musketeers lead the Thousand Oaks Lancers 17-10 on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network's coverage on the Ventura County High School Football Game of the Week. Eric Evelhoch and Kent Brown with you. And Kent, entertaining opening 24 minutes of action between these two teams sees the Musketeers ahead by a touchdown.
Yeah, once it reached about the midway point of that second quarter, both offenses started moving the football, but it really is the line of scrimmage has been the biggest difference. For Moorpark, they were able to win the battle of line of scrimmage on short yardage. They pick it up pretty easily. And then, of course, when they're faced with 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, Evelhoch is getting enough time to throw the football or run the football. On the other hand, for Thousand Oaks, they've been in the red zone 3 times now. They've been in Moorpark territory 4 times, and yet they only have 10 points to show for it. And those 10 points, 7 of them came from 73 yards away. So realistically, when they get into that red zone, they're 1 for 3 from that area, and that mainly has to do with on 2nd and 3rd down, they're losing the battle of the line of scrimmage. So in that first half, especially in the first quarter, Moorpark dominated the line of scrimmage.
Let's recap the scoring for you. Moorpark opened it with a 5-yard touchdown pass from Grant Rohach to Alex Tolliver to take a 7-0 lead. They would extend their edge to 10-0 following a 28-yard field goal by Eric Kreitz in the second quarter. Thousand Oaks responded with that 73-yard touchdown pass. Like you mentioned, Kent, Clark Abarisk hooking up with Blake Howell with 3 receptions in the opening half for an unofficial 100 yards, leads all receivers in the ball game with that number. The score was then 10-7. Moorpark would respond, put together a nice drive, and it would be the senior quarterback Grant Rohach running it in from 5 yards out with the defense spread out from the goal-to-go situation. Moorpark led 17-7, and then Thousand Oaks in the dying moments of the second quarter, able to march the ball down the field and set up a 27-yard field goal for Jamie Sutcliffe to put where we're at right now, 17-10, with Moorpark set to get the ball to start the second half of play. Some numbers for you to digest individually. Grant Rohach, 9 of 14 for 147 yards, unofficially 1 touchdown, 1 interception, as it was Nathan DeBakis making the snag for the Lancers on the play. Aaron Stanton, 12 carries for 68 yards. He also has 1 catch for 24 yards. Alex Tolliver on the ball game, receptions totaling 4 for 87 yards. Kenny Fye with 4 grabs for 36 yards for the Musketeers. For Thousand Oaks, Clark Abarisk goes 8 of 9 in the first half for 132 yards. 3 carries for a total of -9 yards. 2 of those sacks by the Musketeers. Nathan DeBakis pretty well held in check in that opening half of action. 8 carries, only 32 yards. He did have 2 catches for 6 yards. L.J. Wiley, 1 catch for 25 yards for the Lancers. As mentioned, Blake Howell's 3 grabs for 101 yards. Lead everybody in the ball game. And Landon Pauling with 1 catch for 3 yards for the Lancers.
And for Moorpark, you mentioned the 68 yards by Stanton. I wonder how many of those were second after contact. It seemed like he was getting hit 1 or 2 yards into the line of scrimmage and yet would somehow be able to stay on his feet, turn his legs forward, and pick up. When it should have been a 2 or 3 yard pickup, he picks up 5 or 6. When it should have been a 9-yard carry, he picks up 16 or 17. It always seemed like Stanton was able to get things going after contact, and that was big. And then also the decision-making of the senior quarterback Rohach. It seems like every time he needed to give it to Stanton, it was an easy decision. When pressure was coming from one side, he ran to the other side or got rid of it. Very smart first half by Rohach stats-wise. Not anything that jumps out at you, but 4 carries for 19 yards. Pretty good 9 of 14 completion. On the other end, Abarisk had his first pass nearly intercepted intercepted, and then after that went 8 of 8. So we talked about trying to answer the bell for the first-year starter. Aberist gets an A if you want to grade out his first-half performance. The difficulty is, though, the running game really didn't get much. They need more in the second half out of DeBakis, and that's not all on DeBakis. It seems like when he's able to get a few blocks, he can get something going. I mean, he had the interception on defense, showed good speed. He had the nice reception, showed good speed. But from the backfield, he's had trouble being able to get any sort of jump start when they hand it off to him. It seems like every time it's handed off to him, he's basically getting a fight back to the line of scrimmage, and that needs to change in the second half if you're Thousand Oaks.
And that's where that size, skill, and speed up front from the Musketeers has just created such protection and such running lane issues for the Thousand Oaks Lancers in that opening half of play. Nathan DeBakis, as mentioned, against Hueneme, 11 carries for 103 yards and 2 scores, really has been put under wraps by a very game Musketeer defense in the early action of this ball game.
And that starts with the D-line. You have the big man in the middle, the sophomore Tyler Puccio, 6'2", 260. The nose guard is really sort of taking up 2 blocks, and then you get the defensive ends from the outside making plays like Jace Foster, a huge third down sack, and a couple quarterback pressures. So it's that defensive line that is really getting after this Thousand Oaks Lancers team. And for the Lancers, they can't rely on bombs, 73-yard plays to score. They need to start having more sustained drives, and it all starts with what you do up front. But I think overall, if you head into halftime and you're the Lancers and you're Coach Lieben, you can say, you know what? I like the way my quarterback's playing. I like the way my wide receivers have caught the football and then moved it downfield, especially with a guy like Howell. I think you said he has, 101 yards in the first half.
Yep.
In the first half. That's pretty impressive, but he needs more from his run game because at the end of the day, Thousand Oaks, the Lancers aren't going to be the type of team this season that necessarily can win good against good teams if they can't run the football.
One thing that does have to give you heart if you're a Thousand Oaks Lancer fan, though, is we've seen Aberist when he's had time in the backfield and he's been able to set his feet, look around, go through his progression. He's by and large been making the smart decision. And perhaps as another good sign if you're Thousand Oaks, those receivers, L.J. Wiley, as mentioned, 1 catch, but it went for 25 yards. And Blake Howell, they've shown extreme escapability. The Moorpark secondary is having real issues covering these 2 senior playmakers at wide receiver for Thousand Oaks.
That's true. If given time, Aberist has shown some good ability, but the difference is the time he's getting compared to the time that Evelhoch is getting is night and day. Evelhoch has been able to sit back in the pocket, take his time, and then find receivers like Phi or find Tolliver or Tyler Collette. On the other hand, you have the Lancers and Thousand Oaks. It's been basically a 3-step drop, and whoa, here comes a defensive end right next to me, or here comes a blitzing linebacker, or all of a sudden the play breaks down. What do I do? And as I said, that's why you give credit to Aberist in the first half. He's kept his cool. He's been pretty efficient. But on the other hand, outside of one big play, this offense really hasn't been able to get much going.
The Moorpark Musketeers ranked number 4 by the Ventura County Star. The Thousand Oaks Lancers ranked number 6. This Marmonte League opening showdown between 2 of the top programs in the 805, ready to begin our second half of action. Moorpark leading Thousand Oaks 17-10. Remember, the Musketeers will have the ball to start off this second half of play, and we saw them in their win against the Palo Verde Sea Kings need to come back in the second half. The Musketeers with an opportunity here, though, Kent, to really put control and get themselves into the driver's seat of this ball game if they can come ahead with points on this drive and get ahead by 2 scores once more.
Yeah, as much as we talk about how much they're dominating the line of scrimmage, it's still a 7-point lead, not to mention you've had 2 fumbles in which you've recovered. Phi has fumbled twice, one time recovered by himself, and then the next time recovered by Tolliver. If either of those are picked up, it's probably a closer game. On the other hand, you can say that there's been 2 missed field goals by a kicker that shows a lot of leg. So even though with all that said, if you are Moorpark, you really want to be able to get this 2-possession lead, specifically a 14-point lead, because you know, even though I think you've outplayed your opposition so far, it's still a 1-possession game, and it could even be a lot closer.
Musketeers, as mentioned, will start with the ball to start the second half of play. They will go right to left across your radio dial. Jamie Sutcliffe has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. Deep return men for the Musketeers are number 44, Jace Foster, and number 8, Jonathan Wolverton. As mentioned, Foster, the senior defensive end, returning kicks for the Musketeers in special teams, and he will not have an opportunity to return this one as blasted almost out of the back of the end zone by the kicker. Sutcliffe will set the Musketeers with the ball 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to see more of number 22 here in this third and fourth quarter. Stanton's been extremely impressive. There's no reason to go away from him. And again, one of these times I got to feel Phi on the outside. If it's still single coverage, the big 6'5", 205-pound senior, you have to think they're going to go to him one of these times. They've really went to him on short and intermediate routes, nothing long so far.
Moorpark comes out in an I formation, but they break it immediately. Will shift to a 4-wide set. Tolliver and Phi down to the near side of the set. 2 receivers to the far. Deep back is Stanton, and the give is for Stanton. Running left, Stanton crosses the 25-yard line, brought down in the second level, just shy of the first down marker by the safety. A.J. Sheehan makes the tackle after the 9-yard run off tackle for Aaron Stanton.
Yeah, and that's a tough play by Sheehan there on the outside. You have a 6'5", 205-pound receiver blocking you into the ground, and then you still have to go up and make the tackle on the 5'7" Aaron Stanton. Pretty impressive play that he was able to make that tackle in the open field.
2nd and 1 for the Musketeers against the 4-3 Thousand Oaks defense. Rohach snap, turn, will give for Stanton, and he stopped behind the line for one of the first times in the ball game, but a good job getting penetration for Thousand Oaks. It was Landon Pauling, the linebacker, leading the way as the tackle ultimately finished off on the play by Matt O'Neill.
Yeah, I think that's the first negative run that Moorpark's had all night. It's seemingly every time, worst case, they pick up 1 or 2. Great play by Pauling in the backfield, and now it sets up 3rd and long. Or sorry, 3rd and short, but back to where they were.
3rd and 2, trips to the far side of the set. Rohach in the shotgun, back to pass. No, rolling to the far side, throws. It's tipped by Pauling, the linebacker, at the 35-yard line, and it falls incomplete. Rohach was throwing back across his body, looking for Michael Mandick, and a good job by the senior linebacker Pauling, using all length of his frame to swat that ball down. And how about that? 3 and out to start this second half for the Thousand Oaks defense.
And that's maybe one of the first times that I think a poor decision by Rohach. He had the first down if he ran it, and instead he tried forcing it to Mandich incomplete. That could have been, it would have been a short run, but he only needed 2. Probably the first bad decision Rohach has made, especially since the early going.
Kreitz back to punt for the Musketeers. Blake Howell waits at his own 40-yard line for the kick. Line drive pushes Howell all the way back to the 30, and he'll call a late fair catch and make it with coverage bearing down on him from Jonathan Wolverton. But good field position for the Lancers as they start from their own 30-yard line. Spit it out, Eric. And trailing 17-10.
That's the first 3 and out Moorpark's had all game on offense. So good defensive possession, and frankly, the biggest stop of the game so far for Thousand Oaks. Now they have the ball back, only down 7 points, and in their last 3 possessions, Thousand Oaks were able to go 74 yards and then 45 yards to close that second quarter. So their offense is pretty confident.
Clark Aberrisk in a shotgun, has a tight end, Pauling, who will motion right to left across the formation. 3 receivers to the far side of the set. Toss for DeBakis. DeBakis running that way beyond the 30-yard line, beyond the 35 to the 40. Has a block downfield from Pauling. Gets outside the 50-yard line and in to Musketeer territory. On the toss play is Nathan DeBakis. Good for a gain of 12 yards on the run. Correction, 22 yards make it on the run.
Best run of the night for DeBakis. Well, maybe second best run. He had that one toss play in the first quarter, but easily his best since midway through the first. And that's what they've done. In space, DeBakis is pretty good, and that's where they've been most efficient on the run game. It's been between the tackles is where they've struggled. But once again, this is now the 5th possession that the Lancers have had in Moorpark territory.
1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side of the set as Aberrisk will give for DeBakis running that side. DeBakis inside the 45 down to the 40-yard line. It takes 2 tacklers to bring him down. Ryan Baer gets some help as out to the 38-yard line. Nathan DeBakis very close to a first down, and he will have it on the 10-yard run. Boy, Nathan DeBakis, the 6'1", 171-pound junior running back, hoping to follow in the footsteps of fellow Thousand Oaks player Ben Olson looking to attend BYU University, showing some good strength to start this second half of play as it's 1st and 10 from the 38, 10 minutes to go. Snap back to pass, Abarisk rolling towards the far side of the field. Throw underneath for DeBakis. It's incomplete as on his back, Greenhole looking for a flag on the play as it was Tony Mack. Got there right as the ball did, and I don't see any yellow on the field. There it is.
On the far side, linesman threw it right near exactly where you're talking about, Mack making the play. It was close, but it looked like Mack might have had some contact before he was able to get it to the receiver. So it looks like it's going to be pass interference, move the ball up, and this is Moorpark now with a penalty, sort of opposite to what we saw early in the first quarter, where to start the game, Moorpark had a 3-and-out on defense. The offense was aided by some defensive penalties by Thousand Oaks. Now flip the script here in the third quarter. Thousand Oaks gets a 3-and-out on defense, and now their offense is being aided by Moorpark penalties. So all of a sudden, Thousand Oaks starts this all the way back at their own 30. They're now approaching the red zone.
15-yard penalty on the pass interference. 1st and 10 from the 23. Shotgun for Abarisk. Snap will toss for DeBakis running right. DeBakis hit, gets out to the 20-yard line where he's brought down ultimately on the play by Mack. Good job on the toss play, but the defense able to react and stop after the 3-yard run.
At that time, very good outside containment by the defense, not allowing DeBakis to turn his body going north-south. He had to continue to go east-west and never was able to get vertically upfield. And it was a short gain. It was a 2-yard pickup. But here we go. In the red zone once again are Thousand Oaks. And so far today, they are just 1 of 4 in the red zone.
Shotgun for Abarisk. 2 receivers to the far side of the set. He'll motion Wiley into the slot on the near side. Snap, play fake for DeBakis. Under fire. Throws, tried to set up Wiley on the underneath and out. And that was a whole lot of pressure in the backfield coming from Taylor Reddy. And that forced the underthrow by Abarisk to bring up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, it's perfectly said. The screen was set up well, and it looked like Wiley was open, but because of the pressure by Reddy, it had to be forced about a half a second too early, and therefore incomplete. If the quarterback right there, Abarisk, was able to just wait another half second, that could have been a big gainer. Instead, good pressure coming from the outside linebacker, and now a crucial 3rd and 7.
Ball on the near side hash for the Lancers in their road white uniforms with the white and green helmets, much like the University of Michigan's. Again, I say as a Spartan fan, that trips me out so much.
The winged helmet.
That's right, as Thousand Oaks, Clark Abarisk doesn't like something he sees. We'll take a timeout. It's Thousand Oaks' first of the second half of play with 9:16 remaining to play in this third quarter, trailing 17-10. Eric Evelhoch and Kent Brown with you on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network's coverage of the Ventura County High School Game of the Week, brought to you in part by the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Students, you can get spirituality with your sports. Simply find out how you can join a huddle at your school. Go to fca.org to find out more. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes, proud sponsors of the Ventura County High School Football Game of the Week.
Well, 3rd and 7, ball on the 20, 9 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Do you play this for 2 downs? I kind of think you should. 17-10. Clearly, if you get nothing on 3rd down, maybe you kick the field goal. There's no doubt that Jamie Sutcliffe has a large enough leg where it won't be too much of a problem in terms of distance, only a 37-yard field goal. But right now, if you're Coach Lieben, I kind of think you run it here with DeBakis, see what you can get, and then if you're 4th and short, go for it again. Try to see if you can get some points. Remember, they're 1 of 3 in the red zone all game, and their only points are a field goal, so they have not scored a touchdown in 3 red zone trips.
3rd down and 7. 2 receivers to the far side of the set and a double tight. Abarisk back to pass, stepping up, throws out, fires behind his receiver, but it's caught at the 5-yard line, and he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Andrew Van Voy, the 2nd tight end, in on the set for the Lancers with the reception and a 20-yard score to give Thousand Oaks an opportunity to tie the game with 9:09 to play in the third.
Not the most perfect pass in the world, but what Van Voy did is he pretty much was able to get his hands underneath it, scoop it, and then move his body forward into the end zone. And I tell you what, you'll take it if you're Thousand Oaks. Offensively, it hasn't been pretty today, but all of a sudden they're a PAT away from locking this game up at 17 apiece.
Michael Wadman will hold from the snap of McNutt. Sutcliffe, the kicker for the Lancers. Snap down, kick up, on the way. And it is through, and our score, Thousand Oaks 17, Moorpark 17, 9:09 to go in the third quarter. And boy, Kent Brown, it has to impress you what the Lancers were able to do on that drive. Much better coverage at the point of attack. Nathan DeBakis, 32 yards in the first half total on that drive, ends up running for 35 yards to really help the Lancers get their offense going.
Well, that's what they needed. They needed more out of DeBakis. We talked about it at halftime and in the pregame that if Thousand Oaks were going to win this game, they're going to need a lot from number 5. In the first half, stymied at the line of scrimmage, really didn't get many lanes. This time, they sort of work him to the outside. He had a nice cut. One time picked up a good 15 yards going right up the gut, and because of that, it set up the pass. And on 3rd and 7, again, wasn't the prettiest pass, but a great adjustment by Van Voy, hauling in his first reception, scoring, and all of a sudden we talked about how much Moorpark had a chance to make this a 2-possession game. Well, we're seeing it go the other way. Everything's going the Lancers' way to start this third quarter.
And Sutcliffe's kick will go 2 yards deep into the end zone for a touchback. The deep return men, Wolverton and Foster, both electing to watch it go between them into the end zone. So once more, Moorpark, after stopped 3 and out on their opening drive, going right to left across your radio dial in this third quarter, now will look to resume the lead in a game that is now square at 17-7. Grant Rohach out in a shotgun with Tolliver in the near side slot. 2 receivers on either side of the set. Stanton stands to his right. Rohach throws, completes it to Tolliver shy of the 25-yard line, but a great job stepping up to make the tackle defensively by A.J. Sheehan, preventing Tolliver from getting much more than 4 yards on the out.
And now if you're Rohach, you have to start thinking, hey guys, we had chances early in this game to really put this game a big-time lead. Instead, we've kept them in it. Now it's up to the offensive line, the receivers, and of course myself to start making some plays. Remember, their first 3 and out they had all game was last possession, and now they're faced with another 2nd and long.
It's 2nd down and a long 6 as Rohach will motion Tolliver across the formation. 3 to the far side, 1 to the near, and a whistle flies. As the whistle goes, I should say, as a flag flies. And the officials come together, confer on a false start on Moorpark that will march the Musketeers back 5 yards and set them into a 2nd and long situation. And Thousand Oaks, you talked about it, Kent, was a little bit more undisciplined in the early going. Moorpark appears to have lost their concentration as the game is worn along.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what we saw to start the game. First quarter, sort of everything was going right for Moorpark. Here throughout the first 3.5 minutes of the third, everything's going the way of the Thousand Oaks Lancers.
2nd down and 12. Rohach in the shotgun. 2 to the far side, 1 to the near. He'll give a zone read for Stanton running left. Stanton crosses the 20, crosses the 25, takes a tackle from Holloway at the 30-yard line, just shy of it, out to the 29. But boy, impressive running from Aaron Stanton, turning 2nd and long into 3rd and short.
Yeah, low center of gravity, and that's really good. If you're a 5'7" running back, you have to have that leg strength, and Stanton certainly does. He just keeps that low center of gravity, keeps his legs churning, and instead of picking it up, remember, he was hit at the 24, ball's now at the 29, so 5 yards after impact, after first contact. That's impressive.
3rd and 1. 4 wide, Rohach in the shotgun. Stanton stands to his side. Fakes the gift for Stanton. Rohach will run. Has the first down and more. Crosses the 35-yard line to the 40. 45 to the 50. Foot race as he's pushed out of bounds by Howell around the 40-yard line, and Grant Rohach. Great decision to keep the football into Lancet territory at the 40-yard line.
All those winged helmets turned to the right, and Rohach took off to the defense's left. And that time, everybody, including myself, thought Stanton might have had the football, and it was a huge gain. Big pickup, the largest, furthest rush of the game for Rohach, and that time perfectly read on that zone read, and he's shown great athleticism, keeping the football very comfortable. Rushing is the senior quarterback.
31 yards on the run, 50 unofficially in the game for Rohach. 1st and 10 from the 40 on the far side hash. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. He'll motion Collette from near side to far. Rohach takes the snap. Zone read. We'll give it for Stanton. Stanton breaks the tackle, loses the football, and Thousand Oaks has come away with it at the 33-yard line. L.J. Wiley, the safety, comes up and gobbles that ball up like Pac-Man as it went a bouncing free at the 35-yard line. The first mistake of the game for the junior running back Stanton, and Thousand Oaks with an opportunity for the first time tonight to take the lead following the Moorpark turnover.
Stanton's done everything well tonight until that play. That time a nice strip of the football. Wiley recovers it, but a huge mistake as they were moving towards the 30-yard line, and now all of a sudden momentum with the Lancers tied.
Aberist gives up the middle for DeBakis. DeBakis drops his head, drops his shoulders, drives forward to the 39-yard line. Power running there from the Lancers, single back for 6 yards to set up second and mid-range.
Coach Linz has to be pleased the way his offense moved the football, but has to be very disappointed with the fumble. And you can tell Stanton right now on the sideline sort of by himself, just sort of saying, hey, you know what, I've had such a good game, need to forget about this play. But a huge fumble, and now we'll see what the team in white, the Lancers, can do with the ball.
2nd down and 4 under center. Aberist will give on a round for Holloway. Holloway on the run will take it out to the 45-yard line. Correction, that's Blake Howell, I should say, making the run. Good for a gain of 6 yards and the Thousand Oaks first down.
Yeah, that was a very good decision there, because it could have been a quick throw, but instead Howell gets it on the end around, and Howell's he's their athlete. On offense, that's the guy you want to get with the football on the outside, and then you would think more of the bruising back is DeBakis, but this offense is really in sync right now for really the first time.
1st and 10 from the 45. Aberist will give for DeBakis. Works the left side of the line. Flag comes in late as he is still churning. Has the first down, carrying 4 tacklers inside the 45-yard line to the 42. The Green Hole likes that, but they're not going to like the flag. It's a hold that'll drop the Lancers back and repeat first down.
Yeah, DeBakis just sort of moved forward for 5-6 yards there, pushing 4 or 5 defensemen, but all for nothing, as it's going to be a hold right at the line of scrimmage. And that's deflating when you get a big gain like that, really a heart type of play, or more than anything else, DeBakis just says, I'm determined to get the first, but because of the holding penalty, right on that left edge, before DeBakis sort of bounced past the 50-yard line, it goes all the way back. Instead of being near the 43, it's all the way back to the defensive side at the 32. So that is a huge difference. That is about a 25-yard difference of field position.
1st down and 23. Remember, holding a spot foul, so 10 yards back from 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And the Lancers now face near a quarter of the field to go to get first down. In the shotgun, Aberist, 1 receiver on either side of the set. The snap, back to pass. Pocket holds, under fire. Blitzer comes and puts him down at the 25-yard line. All kinds of fired up is the defensive end coming late. Jace Foster puts the quarterback back for a 7-yard loss. And it's 2nd down and much longer for the Lancers.
2nd sack from Foster tonight. 1 on a huge 3rd down play that resulted in a missed field goal, this time on 1st and 22. Make it 2nd and about, 34? So a huge mistake that time by the offensive line. Nobody accounted for the defensive end, Foster, coming from the right edge, and it was an easy sack right on the quarterback, Aberist.
17-7, 5:35 to go as Aberist will give on the draw for DeBakis. Up the middle. DeBakis gets right back around the original line of scrimmage. May have fallen forward for a yard, and it remains 3rd down and a way long.
Yeah, at this point, you just probably can't do anything stupid. You don't want to force a pass. You really don't even want to go 30 yards downfield to see if you can pick up the first. I think you try for something short if you're going to pass it, or you just do maybe a draw or an inside handoff. Maybe try to see if one of your running backs, like DeBakis, can break it. But pretty much here, if you're Moorpark, just play it safe on defense. Don't let them beat you deep, and you'll probably get the football back with decent field position.
In the shotgun, Aberist with 2 receivers to the near side of the set, 1 to the far. And it's a quick kick. Aberist, boy, this isn't the CFL, but they're going to kick it all the way inside the 20-yard line down to about the 19. And Mike Lieben, a little bit of unorthodox there, catches the Musketeers completely unaware, and a great job by the Lancers to flip field position.
Yeah, that was a good decision. Everybody's sort of in their regular defensive position, and he just goes, hey, kid, you mind, I know you're a quarterback here, but let's treat like you're a punter and just punt it deep. And really, he didn't even lift it that high off the air, just sort of bounced it maybe 5 feet over everyone's head, and before you know it, it's down at the 19. A great field position turnaround, and a good decision by Coach Lieben.
17-17, 4:39 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Rohach in the shotgun, 3 wide set. Throws out, complete at the 15-yard line for Tolliver, and he's not going to get much further. The defensive back right there, reading and dropping him down, is A.J. Sheehan. That's a loss of 4 yards on the completion, 2nd down and 14.
And how about that punt? Ended up going for 54 yards on the quick kick. So good decision there. And now all of a sudden we'll see if this Moorpark offense can start to get its bearings going.
Hand goes for Stanton, works the left side of the line, gets it right back around the 20-yard line out to the original line of scrimmage, 4 yards on the counter run to the left for Stanton, and 3rd down and long.
3rd and long, you have to think the weapon most likely here will be the big receiver 5. But once again, watch for Stanton out of the backfield. He's a pretty good receiver, even though he's a tailback.
Trips to the far side of the formation. Rohach in the shotgun. Stanton stands to his right. Snap, and Rohach rolling to the far side of the field. Under fire, throws long, looking deep for Tolliver, and threw it 3 steps in front of him. Incomplete. And the Thousand Oaks defense with their second 3 and out of this second half of play. They'll get the ball back with 3:32 to go in the third quarter of a tie game, 17-17.
3 and out. They had no 3 and outs the entire first half. Now in 3 defensive possessions, Thousand Oaks doing its job defensively, and now we have Howell back almost near midfield waiting for this punt. And you can look at that quick kick as maybe a big game changer, because rather than field position go towards Moorpark, all of a sudden winning the field position battle, barring a turnover here on special teams for Thousand Oaks, will be the Lancers.
Kreitz has to kick his heels even with his own 3. Blake Howell stands at the Lancer 45. The kick, bit of a shank. Going towards the near side sideline, and it will die at the 45-yard line. So Thousand Oaks, the flip of field position with the quick kick on 3rd down in their previous possession. After the 3 and out, they start this drive in plus territory, going left to right across your radio dial from the Moorpark 45-yard line.
Yeah, very good. Very good right now if you're Thousand Oaks. You have Abarisk, who I think is playing pretty well. Last possession alone, there were some penalties that really hurt them, but Abarisk has been good as a first-year starter. The running game is much better this quarter with DeBakis, and of course you still have that weapon on the outside in single coverage all alone on the far side of the field is the big playmaker, Blake Howell.
L.J. Wiley on the near side of the set, Howell on the far. Howell will be motioned into the slot position for Abarisk in the shotgun. Snap for DeBakis, tosses back for Abarisk. Bomb for Wiley down the near side. Wiley reaches up and makes the catch to the 15-yard line. The flea flicker gadget play, good for 30 yards, and Thousand Oaks in business again in the red zone.
And I'm not even sure the flea flicker part of it really mattered all that much. He was pretty well covered, a safety over the top, a cornerback right on Wiley's hip, and yet Wiley just went up and won the jump ball. That time he just said, I'm going to get it, you're not, and it was a great throw right towards the sideline. Wiley went up. That's the second big-time catch Wiley's had. I think both his catches now have gone for over 20 yards tonight.
55 yards unofficially for Wiley, and that was just teardropped in by Abarisk. In the shotgun, 2 receivers to the far side of the set. He'll motion the tight end, Pauling, from the near side to the far. The give is for DeBakis. DeBakis to the 10. DeBakis takes on a safety, trucked down just shy of the 5-yard line, but Nathan DeBakis, a battering ram in the run game, able to pick up good yardage and set up 2nd down and short.
I think Abarisk is saying, hey, you know what, Rohach is going to the Big 12, but don't forget about me yet. I'm a pretty good quarterback too, and that throw was absolutely perfect on the flea flicker, and then of course, now inside the 10-yard line, what will they do? So far, just 1 touchdown in the red zone on 4 possessions, but it was their last possession.
2nd down and 3 for the Lancers. 81 yards unofficially for DeBakis in the ball game. Abarisk in the shotgun, receivers on either side of the set. He'll give for DeBakis. DeBakis jumps forward inside the 5-yard line. He's driven back by the linebacker, thrown to the ground back at the 10-yard line, but forward progress should give Nathan DeBakis the first down as he made it all the way down to the 3, and a Thousand Oaks 1st and goal on the 5-yard run by the big 6'1", 171-pound junior.
Yeah, DeBakis has been terrific here in this third quarter, and that's exactly what Thousand Oaks needed. It was pretty evident from us two going into the game and even at halftime that Thousand Oaks needs more from their running back number 5, Nathan DeBakis, and the junior has come to play this entire third quarter. He's been tough. He's been good on the outside. He's been good blocking. Everything you need out of your running back.
First and goal from the 3, a minute 35 to go in the third quarter, 17-17. Give in the backfield, DeBakis swallowed up. DeBakis tries to work his way forward, but 3 green shirts eat him up. A little bit of miscommunication with Abarisk as they bump together, and it's a loss of 3 on the run, second down and goal from the 6.
Yeah, bad exchange, and it really resulted in a negative loss of 2. And that time Abarisk should have gotten out of his running back's way. Instead of he became the first tackler, so to speak. And because of that, 3 or 4 defensive players swarmed right near the ball carrier. And instead of a possible goal to go inside the 3, it's now all the way back to the 6-yard line.
This is where, if you're a Lancer fan, you have to love having 2 good tight ends to throw to, but they come out in a broken eye formation. Pauling on the near side of the set, snap, toss for DeBakis, running to the right side of the line, trying to get the edge. He's not going to get it. Low bridged, short of the 5-yard line, is stepping up. Jordan Guerrero makes the tackle. No gain on the run. Third down and goal.
Yeah, the defensive back came all the way up. He said, if you're going to run horizontally, I will not let you turn vertically. And because of that, he only got right back to the original line of scrimmage. And right now we have maybe one more play remaining here in this third quarter as clock continues to wind down. But a great open field tackle from Guerrero. And Moorpark trying to man up and trying to limit this explosive third quarter offense for Thousand Oaks to maybe only a field goal attempt.
We're down to 10 seconds remaining with Abarisk in the shotgun. DeBakis behind him, 2 receivers to the far side of the set. Snap, back to pass, Abarisk looks, throws back for Pauling, jump ball, and it hits the crossbar and falls incomplete. 1 second and 7/10 of a second remaining in the third quarter. Boy, you saw the 2 receivers out to the far side of the set trying to draw all the action back there. Pauling a big target, just unable to get the ball to the 6'2", 185-pound senior, and a field goal attempt forthcoming for kicker Jamie Sutcliffe.
That was good defense. There really wasn't anybody open, and it was a good decision by Abarisk. He didn't force anything. He just basically threw it up high and said, unless my wide receiver can jump and touch the crossbar, it's just going to be incomplete.
28-yard field goal coming here, shading toward the near side hash, snap down, kick up on the way. And Sutcliffe, no good. He pushes it off to the right. A third missed field goal in the ball game for the senior kicker, and we've reached the end of the third quarter. 17-17 the score between the Moorpark Musketeers and Thousand Oaks Lancers. We'll be back on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA.
You're under the Friday night lights with the Ventura County High School Football Game of the Week on NewsTalk 1520 KVTA and the Home Field Sports Broadcasting Network.